Michigan will move the ball. They'll exploit the corners, and now with Ricky Doyle playing, they've got somebody in the middle. Going to be a great test for his zone, with Jim Boeheim's zone.
A couple of injury issues both ways. Let's check out starting lineups. Caleb Joseph, the freshman. Trevor Cooney trying to get his shot going. B.J. Johnson starts. Might see a little bit of Tyler Roberson tonight. McCullough and Christmas, their top scorer. Derek Walton is playing despite a toe injury. How many minutes? We don't know. Irvin and Levert, their best shooters. Chapman, the freshman. And Donnell is the center, the freshman. Two Syracuse legends, perhaps the two best players Syracuse has ever had in basketball, both with Detroit ties. Derek Coleman and the former mayor of Syracuse and Jim Boeheim's backcourt mate, Dave Big. The Orange are in the orange. Michigan's in the maize and blue. We're underway on this Tuesday night in Ann Arbor. Johnson, pass for the freshman McCullough, is a turnover, and it will belong to the Wolverines right away. This is a Syracuse team. It's 5-1. To beat Kennesaw State by 47, Hampton by 18. I mentioned that loss to Cal by 14. They beat Iowa in the consolation game of the tournament in New York, and then followed that up with wins over Loyola and Holy Cross on Friday after Thanksgiving. Dan, it was interesting to watch how teams probe the 2-3 zone that Michigan's going to see more of as this year goes on.
Yeah, you're going to see a ton of different movements, and you're going to see a bunch of shots from the corner, not necessarily by Chapman, more like from Irvin.
Christmas has been the top scorer, pitched out to Caleb Joseph. Yes, Syracuse fans, they can hit a three. The basket will count. It'll be a foul on the Orange after the release. Syracuse missed their first all 14 threes against Holy Cross.
Watch here. Watch Christmas just take the redshirt freshman Donnell, wrap him up, and throw him down. And Mike, to your point, Caleb Joseph with his first three of the year.
It was 0 of 3 coming in. Syracuse has had a horrific start shooting the threes, only 20%. One of their other issues has been foul trouble for their top player, Christmas, and he picked that one up early on. Chapman in the hot spot in the zone. The corner three from Irvin. Rebound by B.J. Johnson, but he got bumped by Donnell, and it's out of bounds. Off Syracuse, Jim Boeheim goes to his bench right away. The Hall of Famer, 953 career wins. Second, as you know, to Mike Krzyzewski. And a great matchup because Jim Boeheim and John Beilein have known each other for about 4 decades, both with upstate New York roots. Little trap on the zone. Irvin to the basket. Chapman the rebound. Trevor Cooney has been in a shooting slump really dating back to the middle of last season in the conference play. Good save, and Christmas on the 5-0 Orange.
You know what? Cooney just beat Levert to the spot. Levert kind of fell asleep on the weak side, and Cooney, he just out-hustled Levert, got the ball, found the next guy. Like this, the third different set that Michigan has used against the zone.
And the Wolverines down 0 for 5 on the start. Wolverine foul here now for John Beilein. John Beilein has been a head coach his entire career as a coach, never an assistant, 37 years. One of his first stops and a long stop was at Lemoyne College, just a few miles away from the Syracuse campus. It's in Syracuse, New York. And that's where he and Jim Boeheim really got to know each other, and they have great respect both ways for the two legends in coaching. Cooney way off on the three.
Beilein used to go to Boeheim's practices and watch and see how Coach Boeheim did it.
You're watching your coach's eyes, watching what Michigan's going to do this time down.
I don't like what Michigan's doing here. They're matched up on the front, and now they're going to move Irvin, but nobody's on the baseline.
Donnell inside, couldn't finish. Kept alive by the Wolverines. The shot clock did not reset, and it's Levert. Well, Michigan, an ice-cold shooting start here. They have opened 0 of 7 here tonight. This is what I'm talking about. The two coaches knowing each other for a long time. John Beilein was at Lemoyne 1984 to 1992. Terrific in Division II, and these gentlemen got a chance to get caught up here pregame.
Mike, these right there, those two guys are 2 of the 5 best coaches, in my opinion, in the game of basketball. Their teams are always ready. They have a certain style that they like to play. They don't deviate from it. The styles are different, but they don't deviate. They recruit to it, and their winning percentages show it, man. They're as good as it gets.
Ricky Doyle is checked in. One freshman as another one. Cameron Chapman finally gets the Wolverines on the board after they open 0-7.
Chapman can really play. Chapman understands how to play. He's been a little slow starting offensively, but you got to believe over the course of the season, a kid with that skill level and size going to be a big-time factor for Michigan. He can shoot it, he can pass it, he's got sense.
Tough release for the freshman point guard, Joseph. Wolverines in transition with LeVert. Irvin a three. Zach Irvin, who has made 20 of his 43 three-point shots this season.
Hey, we have to look at that. Zach Irvin ran the left side, and they are so well schooled. He came back to the middle, got himself spaced out. They couldn't find him, Mike, and got a wide open look. That's terrific, terrific transition offense by Michigan.
Trying to get McCullough, the freshman, free. Chris McCullough, good freshman, a little high-low with Rakeem Christmas. A nice job by Irvin to knock it away, 14 to shoot.
Hey, let's watch Zach Irvin. You're going to see him run the floor here. He's going to come down. Now, you see he's going to go to the right side. No, he started on the left. I'm sorry. I screwed this up. But then he came over to the middle. I thought we were going in transition. He moved in transition. He didn't stand where people could find him.
I thought you were fine, actually. I thought you were making a good point.
I was.
Why don't you stick with it?
I should have. Never admit your mistakes. What's wrong with me? But that was terrific either way.
Nobody at home knew what you were going to say, what you planned on saying. There's Christmas on the box. Good hands, the takeaway. Irvin, past Cooney. Wow. Great finish. Early hits trying not to get settled against that Syracuse zone. And those early looks have got Michigan on this 7-0 run.
That was fantastic. Irvin is so much stronger this year, Mike. He's gained 15 pounds since he's been in Michigan.
Cooney missed another one. Joseph got it back. The freshman McCullough. Pushed by LeVert. Out of the corner, Chapman. Clean catch. He might have launched the three. Look at that ball move. Four touch it. Number 3 missed it. That's a foul on Christmas. That will be his second, and he's the player who cannot get in foul trouble, but has too often in this first month.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought
in the ACC-Big Ten Challenge tonight. Were you there for that game, by the way?
I was not. I was at ESPN. I was doing
studio work?
Yeah, some studio work, yeah. I'll tell you this, that's, if you remember, that's when Mitch McGary really got going in the tournament. It's a double-double. He was ridiculous. And you mentioned Spike. 17 points in the first half. A couple nights later in the national championship game.
We were talking about that. My son and I were just talking about that maybe over Thanksgiving week. We went back on YouTube and watched. Oh, it's worth dialing up. Spike was in the greatest zone of anybody ever in the zone. It was just awesome to watch. The moves he was making, the shots he was hitting. Albrecht is one of the more experienced players on this still young Michigan team, Dan. They still have a lot of young players out here.
Not a senior out here. You know, his dad told me he got a concussion just before halftime. Spike did in the national championship game. That's why he didn't start the second half.
Jim Boeheim with the shot clock at 8, leaving Christmas out there with 2 fouls. LeVert knocks it down, and Michigan has run 9 in a row.
All right, let me talk about that shot with LeVert. That's on the top guy of the zone. Shot clock's running down. You've got LeVert with the ball. You've got to match up as he is a man-to-man player. As you are a man-to-man player. Too soft, and LeVert took advantage. One of the great things about Syracuse's zone, when you talk to Jim Boeheim, he's like, look, we scout. We know who can play, who can't play, who has better slides, doesn't have as good as slides. And when you get matched up, you got to play it as man-to-man.
Christmas short. It's off of Albrecht and stays down here.
Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Late clock, Mike. You've got to guard him. I mean, you've got to be tough on him. Joseph just went along, and LeVert at 6'7", he's able to shoot over the shorter Joseph. You've got to square up and keep him in front just as you would in man-to-man.
McCullough trying to post Irvin. Christmas on the other side, posting against Doyle. The freshman point guard Joseph high off the window. Pitched out to Cooney, still on a shot clock. And Cooney on the drive. Can't finish, but he will draw the foul. 2 free throws coming for Trevor. So this ACC-Big Ten Challenge will continue. Iowa, North Carolina. Terrific doubleheader tomorrow night, followed by the feature piece of this matchup, Duke taking on Wisconsin. You'll see Jahlil Okafor, Kaminsky, Decker, the terrific Badgers, number 4 against number 2 as the ACC-Big Ten Challenge continues on the family of networks tonight and tomorrow.
Mike, other than the Cedar Rapids Airport being your favorite airport in all of America, don't you agree?
Why do you start?
I don't mean
It's
to.
6 minutes into our season you're starting. Go ahead.
Don't you think it's time, like as guys that cover the Big Ten, for Iowa to get legitimately good? Like legitimately. They lost 5 of their last 6 down the stretch, kind of fell apart. I mean, it's time for these guys, as veteran guys, to get, be in the race in the Big Ten late.
Well, they're missing Marble this year, so they'll have Roy Devin Marble, so they'll have to find a finisher guy, a guy to throw it to at the end of games.
But we've been talking about Aaron White, Gazelle. I mean, they've got guys. The big center, Woodbury. I mean, they've got guys that were recruited by everybody in the country.
Shot clock at 10. Pass to Albrecht, broken up by Cooney, and Syracuse can't put a fork in it. Late clock, Irvin lifting, launching, clanging. McCullough on the board. Syracuse missed its last 6. Has Michigan's defense gotten better down
Yeah,
there?
they have. You know what they've done? 2 things. Number 1, this has not happened for Syracuse. They haven't really gone on the block. And when you don't go on the block and you're Syracuse, the way they're shooting the ball, they're going to miss some shots. And the other thing is, really, the only thing they've gotten is 1 offensive rebound. They really haven't gotten to the board against Michigan.
Tyler Roberson missing that one. He's missed the last couple of games with an abdominal strain. Back in the lineup, the Albrecht miss, and out of bounds off of Irvin. It will belong to the Orange as Syracuse has subbed in Michael Benajay, the junior guard. Was at Duke his first year, transferred, sent out. He's been struggling of late. Since the Cal game, 4 of 17 from the field.
Mike, Jim Boeheim told me he didn't use the word struggling. He said he's been awful. And he said he's very good. But he hadn't been very good that time. Heck of a pick and roll.
And Roberson evens the game at 9 and stops the slide for Syracuse offensively.
You know this. All you got to do is look at the numbers. Syracuse is shooting terrible, so the ball has to go inside. They'll shoot better once they throw it inside, get a little help, and kick it out. And one of the reasons the inside is open because you have to stay with Cooney. You cannot leave Cooney,
right,
which opens up the lane and opens up the post for their bigs.
It's amazing what a good run can do for a scouting report. He's on a scouting report forever. Benajay and Cooney collide coming for the rebound, but Syracuse comes away with it. A chance to retake the lead. McCullough pitched it. Here's Cooney.
Bet he makes.
Great rebound, the long McCullough. But one thing he is, Dan, he's young and he's a little thin, so couldn't get up and finish strong.
He is. He's like Bambi. Maybe in a month he'll be finishing this. Watch the screen and roll right here. Little ball screen, whap. Real quick, you throw it up.
2 years. That's a 1-year total for a Michigan team. Things built in a negative way, and Hoke was let go today. Jim Hackett will be the man who hires the next coach. He's been empowered by the president to be the man. There will be a search firm, headhunting firm used to try to help narrow the candidates, but Hackett will do the hiring. Had a chance to visit with him for a while after that press conference. He wanted to emphasize what a good infrastructure of quality people Brady Hoke had put in place here at Michigan. And the whole thing isn't completely broken, but the results needing and necessitating the change that's coming in football for a school that has won more football games than any other in the history of Division I. So it's a big job that is open here in Ann Arbor. Benajay on the take. Bang in the bucket. He'll have a chance with a 3-point
Boy, that
play.
was quick, Mike. I mean, Benajay is ultra talented. If Jim Boeheim says you're really good, then you're really good. Just hasn't been playing well. He goes right by Chapman. And you see Levert there flying out of the way. He couldn't get there because Benajay was way too quick.
Back in the game now for your Wolverines is number.
I want to make one more point on the whole coaching situation here, and Jim Hackett. In the press conference, you know the term, the Michigan man, that came up when Steve Fisher got the job after Bill Frieder took the Arizona State job and then the run to the title in 1989. He said that whole Michigan man thing doesn't mean that they have to hire somebody who's been here in Ann Arbor and has direct roots in this program. It's the ideals of Michigan, the character, the desire to win, those things that define a Michigan man. It's a foul on the top 10. Valentine has the call here on Syracuse and Chris McCullough. And those are the things that he's going to be looking for in this search for this very important opening.
Well, I think this.
team.
I think the first thing Michigan has to do relative to football is look at themselves. I mean, look, I don't know if you noticed, but today, Rich Rod was just named the Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Brady Hoke built programs. I'm not saying his overall record's great, but he built one at Ball State. He built one at San Diego State and wasn't able to get it done here. So I think Michigan has to look at themselves first and foremost about what is it going to take for them to have a successful program.
It's a good find of Donnell in that spot where Michigan wanted to get it to, but they couldn't convert. And the freshman point guard, Joseph, brings it back. Cooney's pass knocked away, taking away the long arms of LeVert. Benajay going up to get it with him. What a play by Benajay, who never, let's see, it's changing now.
Yeah.
They said initially Benajay never touched the ball, but it was deflected off the orange guard, and it will be Michigan ball.
You see where Benajay came from? I don't know. You can't tell from that, but I'd give Benajay credit for hustling down. And if he got a piece of it, great. If he didn't, he still influenced it. Michigan has to take it out of bounds. Great hustle by Benajay.
Dan, 9 points about halfway through the half and 4 of 17 shooting for Michigan. Are you surprised they haven't solved this zone better?
Yeah, I think Michigan's gotten pretty good looks. We saw Urban miss a couple from the corner. That's his sweet spot. I don't like the way they're matched up against this zone, Mike. They've got 3 guys out on the perimeter. Somebody needs to slide to the baseline and get in gaps. Right now, it's too easy.
Well, Chapman's in that hot spot right at the top of the
You've got to be there, but he's not great in there as he hits one.
I put it on the tee for you.
I know you did. Well, you have to be in the middle. If you don't play in the middle with one of your bigs and then underneath with your other big, you've got no shot. But you've got to fill the corners and you've got to fill gaps.
That ends a 7-0 Syracuse run. The Orange started the game on a 5-0 run. Herbertson called for the travel. Let's go back to that LeVert drive. Brian Sachs, our cameraman, taking the Benajay charge.
Hey, Mike, can I say,
Brian's all right. Good to see him. Good
can
job,
I say
Brian.
something else about Brady Hoke? I think Brady Hoke's a great guy. I mean, a great guy. And this was told to me when I got fired. A friend of mine said, hey, congratulations. Because you're going to realize there is so much more to life than coaching. You're going to realize the fun you can have with your family, how you're going to be able to be with your kids, how much time you're going to have, how much you're going to enjoy things. That was said to me, and I thought, are you crazy? And then I realized the guy was right.
LeVert off on the 3. 2 Orange there. Can't converge on it. It'll be Michigan ball. We'll remind you the journey to the tourney. This season-long stretch of the big games that matter will include Duke and Wisconsin as we wrap up the ACC-Big Ten Challenge tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. Of course, available on the Watch ESPN app. Can't tell you enough what a quality person. I live here. I've been around Brady Hoke. Exceptional person, phenomenal family, and you can wish nothing for the best because he did do things in a respectful manner. Beautiful drive by Irvin, the sophomore from Indiana. Puts Michigan back on top by 1.
This is the biggest improvement in Zach Irvin. Look at this.
Wow. Christmas comes back in with 2 fouls and goes right at it, and Syracuse got him the ball.
Every time down the floor, if Syracuse wants to score, they need to put Cooney and Christmas on the same side. You cannot help when Cooney is on Christmas' side, and Doyle has no chance of handling Christmas.
Irvin, no. Cooney the rebound for the Orange.
If you're a good point guard as a freshman, you bring it right back.
Albrecht tied up Benajay, went to the deck, and the foul's going to be called on Syracuse. And we get Benajay. The great hustle of Albrecht.
Hey, players talk all the time about expanding your game. See number 21 here. He was just a jump shooter. He was a skinny jump shooter. Now look at this. Look how low he is. Look how low he gets when he gets in traffic. I say it all the time. Don't raise up when you are in traffic. Get lower. You're stronger. You can't be bumped, and you control the dribble better. Last thing on Hoke, you thought I was nuts when I said what I did, didn't I? Didn't you?
No.
About enjoying yourself.
No, it has. It's been better for you. The rest of us, different story.
Oh, I don't know.
Chapman, good ball fake to get inside. Met.
I told you he wasn't great in there.
Good call.
Yeah.
Back the other way,
He needed to
Joseph.
stay low, Mike.
All the way to the hoop. The freshman point guard. And I keep saying that because Syracuse fans were spoiled by Tyler Ennis, how poised he was. Joseph's only played 6 college games, Dan. He's got to grow, and I see him getting better here the last week or so. Good high-low LeVert to Doyle.
Yeah, really good. You got to get in the middle of the zone. They found him. And when you get the ball in the middle, you look shot first, you look straight down to your teammate, or you look opposite. LeVert did a great job. Mike, I thought Joseph was terrific. I went to their game against Carleton College. Now, anybody who knows Canadian basketball knows that Carleton College is one of the great programs in Canada, and he was absolutely terrific, Joseph was.
It was an exhibition game, preseason. Benajay off on the three. Wolverines for the lead, 7:15 to the half. And a tall break.
Mike, young and experienced teams playing a zone. I'm telling you, they relax on the top of a zone. And right there, you saw Irving do it a while ago, and now Albrecht do it. Just drive straight through the zone. You have to be in a man-to-man mindset at the top of a zone.
McCullough.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good. Chapman helped on the post on Christmas, and McCullough read it and went right to the free throw line. Chapman didn't know where he was, got there late, hit the shot.
A high-arcing, beautiful-looking shot. Those long arms. Very talented player. The early conversations that he could be a lottery pick, and Jim Boeheim went nuts when he heard that because he's seen players from Syracuse be talked about as lottery picks and not go deep. Speaking of deep, LeVert hits Michigan's second three. And the Wolverines on top as we seesaw. Cooney on the drive. It'll go the other way. Offensive foul on the Syracuse guard. It's the TV timeout. Under 8 minutes. Coming at the 6-minute mark. Taken for each team.
Well, there's 35 seconds on the shot clock, so basically Syracuse shoots every 11 seconds. Michigan basically 16 seconds. Syracuse is one of the fastest offenses, one of the top 10 fastest offenses in the country in terms of quick shooting. Syracuse is also number 2 in the country in terms of making opponents hold the basketball against them. So teams have to figure out their defense. They play slower against Syracuse than they do against everybody else in the nation except for one team.
And that's because of the zone that the Orange play, and you have to probe, be patient, and it'll take you out of some of the running. If you get the quick hits like Michigan did early on, they were effective.
Yeah, there's a couple things Michigan's done. Obviously, they've gotten the ball down the floor, they whipped it around and shot a couple layups in transition.
Just watching Doyle, 32. He's standing there, he's waiting, looking for that pass. It just won't come. As Syracuse rotates, traps in the corner, in trouble with the clock running down. It'll be 6 to shoot.
Mike, number 4 just made that possession. Ron Patterson came into the game, and he played the top of the zone like it was man-to-man. He absolutely, that kid right there has played sparingly. He's from Indianapolis, committed to Indiana, then transferred to Syracuse, but he made that possession. He put him in a 6 seconds to go.
Quick handoff. It is LeVert. McCullough crashing the glass with Doyle, and the Syracuse freshman pulls it away. Benajay off the wing. Pitch Patterson. Back to Benajay. Syracuse 1-3. Christmas and 1.
There is not a thing that Doyle can do against Christmas. Watch Christmas right here. 2 guys trying to block him out. He just sprint. Mike, you could hear the snap of the ball in his hands.
So, I'm not hiding anything. I'm a Syracuse alum.
Yep.
I watched Christmas play for 4 years.
Yep.
I had no idea that he was number 25 because of Christmas Day until my daughter pointed it out to me last week. Christmas. If your name's Christmas, your number's going to be 25. I had no idea.
I didn't either.
See? Again. The brilliance that comes from our daughters to their dads, right? I'll leave it at 20. 5 minutes left first half.
Now, is she thinking that, or has that been confirmed?
Come on, Dad. How could it not be anything else? You don't even need to ask. There's Chapman again from that hot spot of the zone. It's a good pitch to Walton. Michigan not hitting the outside shots, but keeping this trip alive. LeVert. Doyle knocks it down. I'm sorry, beg your pardon, Donnell.
That's what he can do. I had the pleasure of coaching him for 4 years in AAU basketball. He is a terrific shooter. He's the first 5-man that can shoot for John Beilein since Kevin Pittsnoggle back in his Virginia days.
West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia, I'm sorry. See, Mike, this is bad business for Syracuse. They're posting up Christmas, which is good, but they're doing it with Joseph, and LeVert's just going right back in and double team. They got bailed out with a foul, but they're not respecting Joseph, and Joseph is feeding him from about 28 feet. You see how far Joseph is out here? They're throwing it into Christmas. Now look at LeVert. He just goes right back in there. They get the foul, and Donnell did a bad job. He's got to force him back to LeVert.
Donnell to the bench with 2. Next, Bielfeldt checks back in, the lone senior for Michigan. So would you use somebody else?
I would always.
That entry?
I would put Ron Patterson. He can shoot the ball. I'd put him on the same side, or I'd put Benajay, but I would not have Joseph at 28 feet throwing it in there.
Wolverines lead by 2. Michigan 5-1. They are ranked in the early season rankings for whatever they are worth at 17. Syracuse in the also receiving votes 31. They were ranked in the top 25 to start the season, but it was a very unnecessary ranking. Irvin missed the 3.
Well,
Here's Syracuse with the push. 3-on-2. Joseph. Wild release, causing the contact. And the fans not agreeing with Ted Valentine's call for foul. Timeout, 3:39 left. Schools with one obviously sitting out, but you see the 22 NCAA basketball championships won and the win percentage for both conferences. Big Ten has won the prior 3 Big Ten ACC challenges before the split the last 2 years, 6-6. And of course Syracuse new to the conference last year, beat Indiana, a game we did up at the Dome, so this is the 2nd year for Jim Boeheim. And Syracuse, as we jokingly alluded to earlier, rarely plays outside of the state of New York in the month of December, but this forces them to. It's a good test for a young team.
None of these guys play anywhere. Duke, is this their first? Has Duke ever played a road game, a real road game outside of this series?
Well, outside of the challenge?
Yeah.
They get the neutral site games.
They get a ton of them. They love the Garden, and rightfully so. They sell it out.
Good down to Chicago. A bunch of LeVert misses. Good rebound by Benajay, who is fouled by Chapman of Michigan. Speaking of conference challenges, we're going to have a matchup with the SEC and the Big 12. Terrific game. Texas and Kentucky, part of Jimmy V week as we get that rolling Friday, and then Florida taking on Kansas.
Boys, Florida's struggling at 3-3. They're still in the top 25. And talking to Coach Boeheim about Texas, they had a chance to play Texas had they beat California.
Right.
California beat them bad, but he feels like his team would match up well against Texas because Texas doesn't shoot the ball great. Really athletic on top. That should be a heck of a ball game.
1-1 Benajay knocks down the first.
Do you think Kentucky go undefeated?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, it's it's a little. You can have one bad night, but both platoons need to be down in the same night. That's the sick part.
I know. I think they are. I think we're going to have our first.
You do really?
Yeah, I do. And I think it's going to be a great story, and it's going to provide.
You really do?
Yeah, I do. I don't see anybody beating them. That conference is going to be certain road games. Bruce Pearl will have them ready. Florida, but I just don't see anybody beating them.
8th lead change.
Well, I saw Gonzaga, did them in person. I don't know. I'm doing Arizona Gonzaga in a week, and I'm looking forward to that this Saturday to see. But
corner 3, splashed down by Irvin. And the Wolverines back on top by a deuce. Zach
Irvin in the corner is what needs to happen in this ball game. Throw it in the middle, find him in the corner, run each side, figure it out.
Christmas. He has improved so much. He was not a go-to guy at all, and now has to be on this team. And it's rare to see a senior who's been around, played a whole bunch of ball, and keeps getting better.
Well, he keeps getting better, Mike, and and as he's gotten better and more confident, he's gotten quicker.
Bielfeldt hits the deck, turns it over. Syracuse back the other way for the lead. Joseph takes the three and knocks it down, and the Orange take the lead. They've hit 2 3-pointers, 2 more than they hit in their last game.
Hey, that's Joseph, terrific.
Look at his eye. Look at him now. He's much more confident.
Had not hit one coming in.
Spike Albrecht. It's almost a little bit of a settling factor, settling for deep shots. And that's what this zone does to you. It just lulls you into poor shots. And Michigan is usually very good at each guy taking his best shot.
Yeah, and that wasn't a bad move. Michigan, I think their zone has been too stagnant. That time, they overloaded the left, set a ball screen, got a good look.
Woo! McCullough came down stadium, but missed it. Albrecht, the hit ahead, Levert. Foul by Benajay. And a chance for the three-point play.
Benajay did not rotate back, but he did get there. And instead of either trying to just take a foul or giving a hard foul, watch here, he's there. He just kind of reaches in. You've got to do one of two things. You've got to either put your hands up and make him make a tough shot, or you've got to give a tough foul. Benajay did neither. Three-point play for Levert.
Junior couldn't complete it. Karis LeVert averaging 17.5. Remember, of course, he was going to redshirt when he came in. Has turned in now to a second-team All-Big Ten performer. Last year, preseason All-Conference selection.
Well, Mike, doesn't Cooney have to come off shooting?
You would think. Christmas trying to keep that alive. Does to Joseph, who tried to get it to Cooney. It's a breakaway for Irvin. Ooh. Irvin came down awkwardly. Very close to contact, and one of the Syracuse players getting underneath him in Roberson, but it was not called. Christmas and one. Meantime, let's keep an eye on the elbow injury.
That time, Cooney threw it into Christmas. He went opposite. There was no help, and they got a bucket.
Let's watch Irvin. Throws it down, then it comes down. Hard there. That's the elbow that he's rubbing. I couldn't tell as Roberson was running out to finish if he bumped him or not. I don't think so as I looked at that replay, but I hope Zach's okay. He did nudge him.
I think he was, yeah.
Okay. Live I thought he did. Live I thought he hit him. That's what I was concerned about.
Fill the middle, look opposite at the end of the clock here.
Couple of seconds difference in the game and shot clock here at the end of the half. Michigan takes the use it or lose it timeout. Would you like to go in for 30 seconds,
Let's
Dan?
do that, Mike.
Let's just do just 30. One last thought from a few minutes ago on the undefeated teams, Kentucky, and I asked you in the break, the one that's been sticking in my head after I saw them early on, Wichita State. Can they go undefeated?
I think in the regular season they certainly can. But, look, only one of them's going to do it if they do it.
You mean Kentucky's going to go all the way?
I'm saying the whole thing.
Okay.
76 Indiana record goes away, Kentucky undefeated.
See what Beeline, exceptional drawing up plays, has come up with at the end of the half.
That was good. Chapman just didn't deliver it.
Takes it again. Off the rim. It'll go out of bounds with 0.6 of a second left. Boeheim's got to use it or lose a timeout. He's going to take it. Try to draw something up with 0.6. What's the matter?
That was so good out of the timeout. Chapman set it in. There have been have there been any late clock throw up threes? Not really. They've gotten really good looks.
We're over at the monitor, Dan. One of your favorite moments in the game. We're determining how much time is left when the ball hits out of bounds right there. Maybe 0.7, but it's about right. And again, it's when that ball makes contact with something out of bounds, and a generous 3 to 4 is added.
Well, now you got a chance. I mean, you know, inbound the ball to half court, you can take a dribble and get it up there.
And 6'9" Ricky Doyle comes to guard the inbounds, as Benajay can't move over there in the corner. Don't want to throw it out of bounds because now Michigan gets the ball down here.
Wow.
It comes right back to the spot. And it's a mistake that you can't make at any level. But when you're one of the experienced players and you're a guard on the team, you're taking that pass. He was waiting for somebody to come off a screen and pop open. You just can't do that.
Yeah, they ran the timing route, but apparently nobody on the receiving corps knew what the play was. So don't be surprised to see Spike Albrecht coming over, setting a screen and then receiving a screen, popping to the top of the key.
LeVert looks, he throws it. Albrecht will put up a prayer. No. And that was a wasted 2 minutes of our lives. It really was. 5 ties, 13 lead changes. Not the best shooting. Syracuse leads by 2 at the break. It's good to be back with you, isn't it?
That's awesome.
Here's Carl Ravage with the Mazda halftime report. Ravi. And ACC matchups in the challenge. Syracuse is shooting again. The struggles from the outside. They've hit 2 more threes than they did in their last game, but doing the work in the paint, led by Rakeem Christmas, who has 11 points. Mike Tirico, Dan Dockich with you. So from what you've seen for the first 20 minutes, what surprised you and what should we look forward to in the second half?
A couple things have surprised me. Mike, you follow Syracuse for a long time. Rakeem Christmas is really good. I mean, he's legitimately good and has been good all year. The other thing is, not only has Michigan gone 3 for 17, but they've missed badly. The other thing, last thing, I think Michigan's zone offense has been very, very bad. They haven't ran the baseline.
Didn't you expect it to be better?
I expect to be much better, much more versatile. They went to some inside ball screening, which is fine. But they have to be able to fill the middle and make sure somebody is in the baseline and getting gaps, and the gaps on top they have not gotten into.
Wolverines 5-1. They are 4-0. This is a rare trip for Syracuse here. In fact, the last time these teams played the Chrysler Center back on January 18th, 1987. That was the year Syracuse went to the Final Four and lost to Indiana in the national championship game in New Orleans. Very strong staff for Bob Knight, the difference in that game.
Particularly the graduate assistants. Best graduate assistants ever. Only time graduate assistants influenced a national championship.
Good deflection by McCullough in the zone. Christmas got knocked down, and the foul will be on Cameron Chapman.
Mike, that's an inexcusable pass by LeVert. LeVert tried to no-look a pass at hand level through 4 people against the Syracuse zone. You cannot do that because Syracuse has as active a hands as you'll find and as long arms as you will find, and to even attempt that pass shows you're not really in tune to the game.
Donnell out quickly. Ricky Doyle comes in. I think Doyle's emerging as the best of those interior bigs for the Wolverines as we get close to the Big Ten season time. Backing down Tyler Roberson. His shot way off, and Chapman on the board for the Wolverines. LeVert's got Irvin in the corner. He's got a 3.
Wow. We said it, Mike. They're missing badly. They bank shots in or bank shots out.
You cut Roberson. That time short. Could not finish. And he's going to come out. Benajay going right to the table.
Hey, this is a big game. You can only give guys so many chances. You set up a play for them, they get a good look, you got to make.
Chapman working from that hot spot in the zone, gets inside and gets to this freshman who has started all 7 games. He can play the 2 or the 3 or the 4. A very versatile player here in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, the scouting report on him is really knows how to play.
Cooney with the curl. Irvin got the worst of that as the foul is called.
I did not like anything about Michigan's zone, except for they got the ball in the middle occasionally. They did not move people. They stood basically man-to-man on the perimeter, and when you have bad zone offense, you're going to have to bail yourself out by making some threes, and 3 of 16 in half-court offense, 3 of 17 overall, nowhere near good enough.
Foul on Chapman was his 3rd day, so he's out. Spike Albrecht is in, and I mentioned Michael Benajay comes in for Roberson for Syracuse.
Wouldn't you agree, Roberson, frustrating guy, a talented kid, hadn't played the last couple of games, a talented kid, but if you don't produce, same thing with Ron Patterson, he's 1 for 11 now from 3, you don't produce, they got other guys at Syracuse going to get an opportunity, and Benajay gets his.
Missing those last couple of games with the abdominal strain, slow to get started. Good free throw shooting night thus far for Syracuse, which has not been shooting them well, making 2 out of every 3 in the first 6 games of this season. Albrecht and Irvin work outside the zone. A little dribble penetration. Albrecht, a beautiful cut. Walton. Spike Albrecht made that play.
Spike Albrecht knows how to play, and one of the things you do when you know how to play is to not stand. You cut into an open area, as you said, Mike, and then Albrecht knew exactly where Walton was, found him, knocked it in.
Michigan 10 assists on the 15 field goals. Christmas is doubled, passed out of it. Joseph almost lost it, tripped by Albrecht, accidentally in the way. And the first foul on Spike.
Hey, there's never a time to stand in basketball. You're going to see right here, Spike Albrecht. He's going to fill the open area. Look at the open area. He comes to the ball, and then he just knows. And Derek Walton, who has a broken toe, only played 10 minutes. He's huge in the second half. Michigan going to make a run.
Dumping into Christmas. He is getting doubled. Cooney on the outside. Hits the 3. That's very big for Syracuse to get Cooney to get going from the outside.
Yeah, but a bad play by Spike Albrecht. He ran over to Joseph, taking himself off of Cooney. You have to fake it, Joseph. Hey, Joseph's hit 2 threes. That means he's got a bunch of misses coming. So you fake it, Joseph. Stay with the better percentage shooter. Spike Albrecht didn't do it, and Cooney made him pay. Good movement of the ball inside out by Syracuse.
Cooney was 9 of 35 shooting 3s thus far this season before that make. Lob over the top. Michigan's ball movement a bit crisper. Everybody touched it. Right back to Walton. Trying to dish inside in traffic. Touched last by the Syracuse.
Now watch Spike Albrecht here. You see him. He runs to the shooter or the non-shooter, Joseph. Hey, a fake at the ball is worth more than a wild run. You just fake, and then you stay with your body towards the guy that can shoot, and you take away the shot.
Trip kept alive by the Wolverines' 12th offensive rebound in this game.
See how they're matched up, Mike? Spike against Joseph. That's pretty good. Good.
Oh, yeah. Doyle with the punch and one. Beautiful play. Foul on Christmas, his 3rd. Ricky Doyle becoming a fan favorite here.
Well, if you want to get unmatched up, go set a ball screen. Ricky Doyle long and strong at the rim.
A little behind the back from Spike Albrecht, didn't hurt.
That was sweet. Hey, look.
High low to McCullough. Ted Valentine, inadvertent whistle. Inadvertent whistle. It'll stay down here with Syracuse.
Watch Spike here, a little crossover with the ball screen. Comes in, he knows right now. You know, Mike, this isn't a showboat play.
Right.
It really isn't. This is a necessary play.
Oh, Cooney off the inbounds, feeling it. Back-to-back 3s for Trevor Cooney. I haven't seen that look in Cooney in a while, Dan, that he wanted to take the shot right away.
Couldn't you tell as he was coming off that he was going to knock it in?
I almost interrupted you, but you were making such a salient point, I wanted to let it breathe. Game getting better here, early second half. Albrecht a 3. Cooney has all 8 Syracuse points in this half. Albrecht's been a big factor since he came off the bench. Christmas attacks. Fading away, couldn't finish. Here's the push by Derek Walton Jr. Albrecht. Irvin, a 3. Syracuse timeout.
Well, we got a shootout going right here. You see Cooney, Spike Albrecht relaxes. Cooney got to the spot and absolutely knocked it out. But Spike says, hey, wait a second. And then Zach Irvin, he likes a little phone call after he drills a three. He's dialing long distance, I think.
On the winter nights, really what Tommy Amaker got here as Michigan coach preceding John Beilein, he helped really take that up a notch, bring the students down low behind the benches. A little bit of that feel from where Tommy was an assistant and a terrific player at Duke. Tommy did a nice job here. John Beilein has picked up and taken that to another level. And Amaker's gone to Harvard and done a sensational job there. Out of the timeout, they continue to double Christmas. Benajay went to the deck to get it, but Michigan took it away.
That was actually a triple team. Spike Albrecht came over, Walton came over, Doyle had him. Spike Albrecht did a great job on that play of directing traffic before the ball went inside.
Cooney screen, Albrecht gets into the middle. Walton from the top. Doyle on the glass, he got it knocked away with a foul. It'll be on McCullough. The freshman has not gotten going scoring. This is now the under 16 TV timeout.
Hey fans, please turn your attention to the video board. It's time once again for the...
The little man's in there, Spike Albrecht, the little things that make a big difference. Dan takes us inside the play. What do you got, Coach?
This is so good by Spike Albrecht. Watch Spike right here. He's guarding Trevor Cooney. Cooney's going to cross screen, then he's going to receive a down screen. Watch Albrecht right there. Watch, he's talking. He's calling the switch on the side. He hangs in, gets back to his when it's on top. Now watch Spike Albrecht. He comes over, sets the double, and then Walton digs in as well. It's a triple team. Spike Albrecht set the entire thing up by communicating with his teammates and being in help side early.
That's knowing the game, feeling the game, and executing perfectly out of a guard to help against a big who is now getting attention, Dan, that he probably never really has gotten in his college career.
There's no doubt Christmas is foreseeing double teams for the first time. He played out of it in the first half by spinning to the baseline. That time Michigan forced Christmas into the double, and Christmas didn't have an answer.
Off the Syracuse foul, Ricky Doyle at the line knocks down the first of 2 free throws.
You like Ricky Doyle?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Very much so. And he's a great one of the many good stories. John Sanderson, strength and conditioning. If you watch Michigan broadcast, you hear his name brought up often. The physical transformation of some of these players. He has lowered his body fat from 18% to 10%. And he's going to become just one of those fixtures of the Big Ten in the bruising stretch of the conference schedule. Great out of the timeout. Boeheim went right to McCullough. They have to get him going.
I'll tell you this, Boeheim hasn't won a million games by not knowing his way around it. He knew he had a mismatch. McCullough against Zach Irvin, put Christmas on the left, McCullough on the right, and it was over the minute McCullough got the ball.
Ends an 11-3 run. Michigan leading by 4. Walton used the Doyle screen. Rebound Benajay for Syracuse, working with Caleb Joseph. 6'3" freshman on the point. But the idea was that he would be a backup point guard this year, but when Tyler Ennis went pro after 1 year, there was a travel on McCullough, by the way. Joseph thrust into this role. Baseline drive, pitched away, deflected out by Michigan, 15 to shoot. What do you think of these games coming up for the ACC-Big Ten Challenge tomorrow, Dan? Iowa, North Carolina, followed by Duke, Wisconsin.
I like North Carolina to beat Iowa. But I think Kaminsky against Okafor. Okafor better be ready to guard some pick-and-pop basketball out at the three-point line, because Bo Ryan will do that, and he'll put Hayes inside, and it's a problem.
Late clock, Cooney has to fire, and you know what? He got faked out by the early count of the shot clock by the student section. Syracuse kept the trip alive with an offensive board. Christmas pushed away on the catch. Great, wow, first step acceleration to get himself free.
Hey, there was a double there, Mike. Walton came off of Joseph, and he was there, but he was a flying elephant's backside. I mean, he just went right by him. Just abused him.
That was a kind of Derek Coleman nod of approval. I like that. ECDC over there. LeVert out of the corner, a three. That's the home office for Karis LeVert. Hits so many of those corner threes during the year.
Yeah, pretty good move putting LeVert and Albrecht on the same side, because both can shoot the basketball. Albrecht had just hit one.
Rolling is Christmas. Lost the handle. 3-on-1 Irvin. LeVert. Good hustle by Joseph to come back and send Syracuse the other way.
And an even better no call.
Lob to Christmas. Was in a bad spot to catch. Benajay cleaned it up.
Hey, you've got to be an athlete to play in this game, Mike. These guys are playing at 10 feet. And they're playing tough, and the referees are letting them play.
It's a pretty good game.
That's a great game.
Worthy of your presence.
Well, you did Monday night, and then you did the world's strongest man in Stade last night, so.
Spike Albrecht been working around, worked in the middle of the zone, worked in the corner. Delivers to LeVert.
There it is.
Late clock Walton. Rebound by Cooney, who got hit by Walton.
But Walton could have made one more pass, and he would have had Irvin open on the whole side of the court.
McCullough backs down. Reposted by Caleb Joseph. Trap. Syracuse turns it over. It's Michigan ball when we come back. Wolverines lead by 3. Good one in Ann Arbor.
Max Bielefeld has the biggest calves in basketball, and Spike Albrecht's dad, Chucko, was the greatest bitty basketball player in the history of the United States. So there you go. We'll get them all in. We'll get them all in.
You know,
where's Andy North?
And it's a Wisconsin. You know what the Syracuse standard is? The Syracuse standard, every Syracuse broadcast is when somebody hits a three, they say, you know, Jerry McNamara was a great shooter. Remember what he did at the Garden in the Big East tournament?
He was on the bench.
We cleaned them all out for everybody watching, huh? Good game, fun game. 2 big-time programs who are usually around when it matters in March. They met in the Final Four a couple of years ago in Atlanta in a national semifinal. Michigan, a little bit better team, a little more expected. Syracuse, a good showing in a true December road game. Within 3, 11 minutes left, second half. Clock running down. Albrecht sees the space. Good job by Joseph to come over. And Caleb Joseph gets the block shot.
That's a terrific play by Joseph.
Cooney, open. Just a hair long.
Well, Joseph played the top, and then he went over and played the side, the opposite side. That's how you play the top of Syracuse's zone.
Chapman tried the high-low feed. Benajay was quick to react to it and took it away.
Chapman violated the rule. When you get in the middle, hey, you're looking shot. Don't give that thing up until you look shot, then you look down, then you look opposite.
Lazy entry by the freshman McCullough, who comes back and I thought got the block, but it does get the body in the foul of Chapman. McCullough got up there, he got the ball, but the body may have continued in. Thus the foul.
Take a look here.
That's his third.
Yep. He got body. Hip to hip there.
At the line out to shoot 2.
I mean, I'm a believer. If I get the ball and my body hits you, then it's not a foul. If my body hits you and then I get the ball, then that's a foul. Let's see.
You believe that, but does the rule book read that?
I think the rule book does.
Yeah,
I think the rule book, if I block your shot, ball first, and then we hit, fine.
Right,
that's a block. Okay. Because if I hit you with my body and then I block the shot, the reason you blocked the shot was because I hit you with the body.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. By the way, our producer Bart Fox was trying to tell us to mention Indiana won. That's why the tote board changed to 3-0 Big Ten. And the midseason forward blew right past him. A little change in defense from Michigan. They extended it, and a good job to turn Syracuse over. Irvin. Chapman. LeVert ran out to the corner. He was dying to get the ball and shoot a three.
And he should have, Mike. Now you've got to set up and play against his zone. He was running, and they didn't find him.
Syracuse has had a couple of sloppy trips on the offensive end. Turned it over 3 of the last 4 possessions. Clock at 8. Irvin, no. McCullough able to secure it.
Mike, that was a good look by Donnell. He got it and kicked it, but on the miss, Cam Chapman should have been on that backboard. I mean, the 75% of shots are rebounding the other way, and he didn't make a move. He's got to get on that glass. Got to go in, Mike. Got to go in.
Tough angle for the feed. Skip pass was long. Benajay couldn't save it. That's 4 turnovers the last 5 possessions.
Shouldn't have thrown it in, Mike. Shouldn't have thrown it in.
The ACC Championship, Florida State now drops to number 4 in the latest college football poll for the committee, which just came out before our broadcast tonight. Florida State, Georgia Tech for the ACC title Saturday night in Charlotte. Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit will be on the call for that one for you. And then Sunday, remember 12:45 Eastern on Sunday, the final 4 teams for the playoff are announced here on ESPN. Albrecht. All you got to do is say the words Final 4 and Spike Albrecht lights up. Michigan leads by 7, largest of the night. Christmas lost it, 5 turnovers, last 6 possessions.
This is deep, Mike, and you're right. This is reminiscent championship game. That's NBA and beyond. And you see what he did when he shot it? Ran right back. He knew that bad boy was in.
Do you think he could be this good?
No.
In college?
No, he had no offers. He was going to Brown with his brother. As I said, his dad a terrific player, knew enough to give him to prep school.
Look at that fight inside by Doyle. And our regular Big Ten viewers who watch the games on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays, you're going to see a lot of this 6'9" freshman from Cape Coral, Florida. McCullough just picked up his 4th personal foul.
At the line now to shoot 2 for your Wolverines is number 32, Ricky Doyle.
Tough night for the freshman. Averages 15 points a game, Dan. Just 4 points for McCullough, 4 fouls. He is bench bound.
Getting back to Albrecht, he's a kid, a terrific high school coach at Crown Point High School, named Clint Swan. Not recruited. He goes to prep school. Michigan thinks they're going to lose Trey Burke. Jeff Meyer, the assistant, sees him play in the prep school championship game, which is a high level event. They decide they go meet with the family. They decide they're going to take him. Trey Burke comes back, but still, Spike Albrecht was a terrific player on that team that got to the championship game.
Alley-oop to Robertson and the chance of the 3-point play. Joseph with the toss to the 2.
Boy, I've never seen Jim Boeheim so mad. Joseph threw a nice pass here. 3-point play, and Jim Boeheim is livid with Joseph for some reason, and Joseph won't look at it.
You've never seen him that mad?
I really haven't. Really? Look how red he is.
Oh, all the time.
Not like that. Not like that. I've seen him yell at guys on the bench, but I'm telling you, he was up. His fists were gone. He was hot. He's the coolest man in college hoops.
Big 3-point play. Down to 5. 8:05 to go. Just that shot fake by Albrecht. It freezes the defense. Like, no. Oh, beautiful slip pass. MVP of the game, Spike Albrecht. Best guy on a Florida night. Again. Travel. And Syracuse turns it over. Career high 8 assists for Spike Albrecht this evening.
This is the same move they've been doing here of late. Little ball screen to Spike Albrecht's left.
Illinois, Miami, and NC State and Purdue also to be played tonight. And Dan, that's what we were talking about with Spike Albrecht. Career high 8 assists.
Yeah, he's had 5 assists, 2 field goals this half. He has had a hand in 7 of the 8 buckets for Michigan. You're right, Mike. MVP. He's been the guy on the court today. Getting ready to load up another one here.
And Syracuse has turned the ball over, not taking care of it in their half-court offense the last 3 minutes. And on the precipice here, needing to hang in there with a good defensive stop. Irvin a three. Straight on. Ring it up. First double-digit lead of the night. Michigan struggled with just 3 made three-pointers in the first half. Coming back here in the second half. Benajay able to draw the foul on the drive. Doyle picks it up.
Benajay has a real burst. I mean, he just got the ball and blew right past Zach Irvin. Ricky Doyle kind of got there, but not in time. As I said earlier, Jim Boeheim told me this kid has to play for them. He thinks he has real talent, has not played well, but you can see he has a burst going to the rim.
Dan, I think he's essential to this Syracuse team in that third guard, sixth man role, if you will. You have players, usually what has happened. Great hand here first for Albrecht. Spike takes a seat with 6:56 to go. Benajay split the pair. And we'll have McCullough with 4 fouls coming back in for Syracuse to get Roberson. Roberson, B.J. Johnson, Patterson, those sophomores, that group, the expected and what's happened over the last few years is freshmen who didn't play much burst onto the scene as sophomores. Think of a guy like Dion Waiters, but he's not the same talent level of players, so development and patience, which Syracuse fans haven't had to use for a while, needs to happen with those players as Christmas comes up with a big block there.
But Mike, I think they're talented enough. You know, like they should be helping far more than they are.
Cooney got blocked. McCullough cleaned it up. He has a half dozen. The lead is down to 7.
That was pretty nice. McCullough just got it in traffic and then went to the other side. And Mike, his wingspan looked like it was about 20 feet long as he went to the opposite side of the backboard.
Irvin, same spot. He just hit the last one. This one a little to the right. Big battle for the rebound. And they'll get Benajay for the foul.
Boys, Jack Doyle, or Jack Doyle, I keep calling him Jack. Ricky Doyle, is he willing to go to the backboard? And he has really long arms, and he's one of the few bigs that you'll see that rebounds at the top of his jump and at the top of his arm length.
Michigan will take a timeout here. Each team with 3 remaining. 6:02 to go.
Michigan has
Give me a little feel for the Big Ten here this year, Dan. Obviously, Wisconsin is the team highest ranked nationally. So many of the Final Four repeat run expectations for the Badgers. Who's the second best team in this conference in your opinion?
Well, I'm not really sure. I'd go with Michigan State or Michigan. People should not sleep on this Michigan team. Like, they can shoot the basketball. We've seen them get contributions from others, and Ricky Doyle, they're starting to give them a presence. I would say that Michigan's going to fight right down the wire. I think Michigan State is going to be right there as well. I think the power in the Big Ten is going to be decided by the Iowas. Purdue, I think, is much better, much better.
You tweeted out that you think Hammond's going to be the player of the year in the conference.
He has really struggled early, and he's having trouble finding his way with the other big, Isaac Haas, who's really good as well. But I think when the Big Ten season comes along, Purdue is going to be back to being what Purdue has always been, which is a tough, aggressive defensive team, and Hammond's going to have a big-time year.
You're seeing Michigan face a lot of Syracuse's 2-3 zone. Ohio State plays Louisville next. Ohio State is now playing a lot of 2-3 zone.
That Thad Matta learned from Rob Murphy, who was a longtime Syracuse assistant, who is now doing a terrific job as the head coach 10 miles from here at Eastern Michigan.
The lefty Chapman rattled it out. Benajay went over Doyle to get the rebound. Some of the Michigan fans wanted an over-the-back call.
Yeah, but they're wrong. That was just a good rebound.
Syracuse can get it back to a one-hand deficit. 5 or 4. How about 4?
No, he's not making that in the second half. Look at him.
Great rebound. Will Cooney make this one?
Yep.
Yes! Third 3 of the half. And a 4-point game with 5:20 to go. And the Syracuse Hall of Famer Dave Bing approves.
How good has McCullough been on the last 2 possessions? Got a rebound and a finish, and then another rebound and a kick out.
Chapman pitched it right back to Walton. Rimmed it out, Doyle again. Couldn't finish, and Christmas comes down with the board. Syracuse the push. Cooney lingers at the line for 3. Christmas joins the play. Benajay got a little bit deep there. Back out Cooney, feeling it. Air ball. Well, it just grazed the rim. Sorry if I just missed it off. Stays inbounds long enough for Michigan to get it, but the Wolverines have missed their last 5 field goals.
Irvin's got to get a shot here from the corner. He's got to work his way into the corner on an overload.
Levert screen by Doyle out of the corner. The 3 knocked down by Chapman.
Mike, I'm telling you, that kid is going to be really, really good. Can shoot, can rebound, good timing. In the middle of this Big Ten season, going to be a huge problem for somebody.
Just the third 3 he's made, freshman on freshman. McCullough on Chapman here. Joseph dribbled into no man's land. Shot clock at 10. Cooney will take it again. Knock it down again. May not be enough tonight, but is massive for his confidence in this team's ability to score the ball.
Particularly, he's been struggling. He shoots an air ball, kind of grazes the front of the rim, and it comes right back next possession, right? And that's exactly what he is counted on to do. He's a veteran. He can't worry about what just happened.
Flag on me for saying score the ball. I hate that term, and I don't know why I said it, but I did. Levert did not score the ball. Christmas the rebound. They could get it to 2 or 1 here. 3:12 to go. Benajay off the way. Met by Levert. Joseph. McCullough tipped it in. 2-point game. Terrific comeback on the road for this young Syracuse team.
McCullough's changed the game. 4 fouls, came back in. Great move by Jim Boeheim to put him back.
And John Beilein will take a timeout. This 11-3 run for Syracuse to get back in it.
Michigan has called a 30-second timeout.
I hope TV does this justice, because McCullough was at about 12 and a half feet. I mean, he was way up there. So third incredibly athletic play by this freshman.
From the Bronx, New York, 7'2" wingspan. Karis LeVert came in as a unheralded freshman, but he is now part of tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch preseason top 50 candidate, with good reason. Look at his tremendous growth as a player, the stats last season of this, and the accolades coming into this season as a preseason first-team all-conference performer.
And as nice a kid as you will ever meet, as unassuming, smart. He has done this. He did this against Villanova. Late in the game, when Michigan needed a bucket, he went and got 2 tough shots. I would expect that he's going to look to score, get in the lane, and go over somebody for a bucket at some point in these last 2 minutes.
Albrecht's been the MVP for Michigan in this half. Cooney for Syracuse.
With a close second to McCullough in the last 5 minutes.
Yep. Cooney's got 14, and the Orange 28 since the break. 2-point game, 2:45 to go. Walton Jr. Nice job by Cooney reacting. Got over the top of that screen. Albrecht dribbled himself free, and a great chase down by Irvin to keep this possession alive. Tremendous offensive rebounding again for Michigan.
Michigan's got to overload a side, Mike. They're good when they set a ball screen and Spike Albrecht goes to his left, but they need an overload. What that means is 2 guys on the same side, 1 on the wing and 1 in the corner.
Second chance points might tell the tale in this one. Michigan working off its 16th offensive board of the game. Shot clock at 7 as we hit the 2-minute mark. Albrecht caught by Doyle, couldn't finish, but he got it back again. And another second chance opportunity. Wolverines by 4. McCullough to the basket. 2-point game. Double-double.
Hey, McCullough just took it chest to chest with Doyle. And when he took it on chest to chest, it kept his right arm free. His chin was on the rim, and he finished. Terrific play by the freshman again.
Always keep your chin on the rim to finish in the hoop.
We know that.
75 seconds left. 1 possession game. LeVert. Rebound. Secured by Joseph. The Qs can tie or take the lead. Benajay Dish to Christmas. Tie game at 63. Beeline will take timeout. With 51.8 to go, a 15-5 run by Syracuse has erased a 10-point Wolverine lead.
Boy, this is so good by Syracuse, hanging in. Watch Doyle here on the pass. Spike Albrecht put his head down, ball bounced right back to Doyle, but here, a little pick and pop. Watch this, chest to chest. He keeps his chin on the rim, and he gets it over the front of the rim, and then Benedict just went to the rim tough and dropped it off. Doyle has been in position to take charges, hasn't had one called, and I think they've all been very good no calls by these officials.
See the timeouts left in. Both teams 5 fouls, so you can be aggressive defensively because it's just sideline out of bounds, but it would recycle the shot clock. Keep that in mind. Also, in the back of your mind with timeouts, we have not had the under 4-minute TV timeout yet, so there's another break coming on the next dead ball. A lot of stuff working here with under a minute left in a game that has really turned out to be very entertaining and well played. I think both teams, somebody's going to walk away with a win, obviously, that they need against a good opponent. I think both teams are going to grow from this one.
Well, there's no question. Syracuse being down, hostile environment.
Let's see what Beeline came up with that on timeout.
Look, they got overload now, but Spike didn't step up into the gap. He backed off. Now, maybe when they do it again later on in the clock, they'll go ahead and get Spike into a position of shooting.
Clock at 12. Walton the step. Pitch to Albrecht. 3 straight on. Got them all! Spike Albrecht puts Michigan on top. Will Boeheim take a timeout? Yes, he will. Albrecht the big 3 for the Wolverines.
Foul if you have to in the trap. Make the referee call it. Look like you're trapping and hit somebody. Go for the ball.
And then force it out of bounds where you can't run the baseline off in the corner there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you can get it into a side, if you can get it into a deep corner, now all the better. You've cut off half the floor.
Walton, Irvin, Levert, Doyle, and Albrecht, the 5 of the floor for the Wolverines. Syracuse picks up in man for the moment. Usually switch and trap here. Albrecht, the baseline run, gets it back, gets fouled with 18.2. It'll be Michigan ball out of bounds. They're running it down to this end. No free throws, guys, just the 16th foul. And this is the under 4-minute TV timeout. You think he's a money free throw shooter? Hadn't shot a free throw all year.
All year.
Yeah.
All year. You know, if you can figure out a way to get the ball in Ricky Doyle's hands, then you got to foul him.
Of the guys on the floor, the poorest of the free throw shooters, but he's 4 or 5 here tonight. Syracuse will try to get the steal, and it's a foul on Benedict before the ball is inbounded. He grabbed Walton. 4 on Benedict. Walton will come to the line for the 1-and-1. Really like to see that rule changed.
You would like to see it to the NBA way where you get the ball, right?
Or guarantee 2 free. No time coming off the clock.
2 free throws, automatic.
It'll be 1-and-1 for Walton. 23 of 28 on the season. First ones of the night. Either way, Syracuse will have a chance to tie the game. Or win the game. Will Boeheim take the timeout? Oh, they turned it over! Oh, boy. Michigan ball. And the turnovers tell the tale. Wow. Game still not over. 15.4 left. Still Michigan in the 1-and-1 if Syracuse fouls. Albrecht looking, and he'll take the Wolverines' final timeout.
Michigan has called a full timeout.
2 freshmen. McCullough got the rebound, outlet it to Joseph. I think McCullough just got in a hurry and didn't really turn, look, and then make his pass. Let's see. He just kind of turned and threw it.
You saw the one orange shirt potentially in Benajay, who then ducked to get out of the way to get it in the hands of a point guard. And again, it's young players. It's freshmen. You're learning on the job, and that's the value of on the Michigan side. So if you're Syracuse, do you do anything differently on how you're defending, because they don't have a timeout, and if they see something they haven't experienced in the last couple of minutes, it might cause a turnover?
Yeah, a couple of things. Number one, you switch everything, which is what Syracuse does. Number two, you make sure they've already proven, these referees have, that they will call a foul if you grab. Don't bail a team with no timeouts left by bailing them out with a foul. Do not do that. Make your switches. Ricky Doyle gets the ball, you foul him quickly. Make sure LeVert does not get the basketball.
Albrecht to trigger. 15.4. Michigan out of timeouts. Throw it to the backcourt to LeVert. And Cooney gonna have to foul now, and he does with 12.1 to go.
Here's what John Beilein said in that timeout. They ran the same action, but they ran it real tight the previous time. This time LeVert went way into the backcourt, gave himself some space to get the ball.
Michigan 5 of 9 at the line. Karis LeVert's made 24 of 28 on the season before tonight. Missed his only attempt this evening. 1-1. Long. McCullough. Again, Syracuse has a chance to win the game. The freshman Joseph almost turned it over and did. Couldn't control the dribble, deflects off Albrecht, and a Syracuse foul with 4.5 to go.
Well, they were going to dribble it at Cooney, it looks like, and maybe Cooney was going to come in from behind. I think this ball just popped off Joseph's foot.
Yep.
He's dribbling right at Cooney, and what you do is you want Cooney to come in behind, but it popped off his foot. LeVert gets the rebound.
Again, 9 team fouls. So again, it's a 1-1. There's no way they'll leave the door ajar a third time by missing the front end. LeVert knocked it down, and again, it's a 2-point game. Syracuse can go 4-3. They have a timeout. We'll see what they do. LeVert made it. Beilein's going to sub here and get Chapman on so they can do more switching because they need a 3 to top.
Mike, if I'm Michigan, I'm fouling here. I've seen too many times not fouling. Ball goes to half court, you get a great look, and we're in overtime. There is no question about running a clock down here. It's under 5 seconds.
Right.
So any foul is a good foul as long as it's not in the act of shooting. A foul to give, you can't foul someone if they look like they're in the process of shooting.
Right.
I mean, you have to be smart enough with that. Because what happens is the coach says, hey, we got a foul to give, let's go ahead and bang it. Well, you don't even think, you just know you're fouling, and if a guy's in the act, that's going to be 3.
Well, Syracuse has Christmas and McCullough out there. McCullough has made 1 3-pointer. He's going to be the trigger. Christmas is out here as well. He has not attempted a 3-point shot as their big man, but he's going to be out here for screening purposes or perhaps a pass to midcourt and then an extension pass. McCullough to trigger, final 4.5. He throws to Christmas, who gets it to Joseph, who is fouled at 2.2. With no shot, Syracuse sideline out of bounds. That's what we talked about.
And this is not bad for Syracuse. This is not bad for Syracuse at all. 2.2 seconds, side out of bounds. I mean, how many times have you seen during NBA games? This is a bucket. This is a great look.
You foul again?
I think I foul before the ball's inbounded. I think I jump in front of somebody and take a shot on the chest, maybe drag him with me a little bit and eliminate this.
Take advantage of the rule. You don't even have to threaten him fouling in the act.
No question. Just grab somebody.
2.2 to go. And Joseph got free, got a look. 3 for the tie is off. And Michigan wins. 68-65. The Syracuse freshman had opportunities, and we'll use this as a learning game, but Michigan Spike Albrecht comes up with a lot of the big plays as the Wolverines close it out. Dan, here's a look at the final play.
Yeah, they weren't going to foul. You see, Derek Walton was just going to put his hands up and hope for the best. Shot was on line, just short. Michigan gets the win. Good game, Mike.
It really turned into a good second half after a sloppier first half. The Wolverines 8 of 16 shooting the threes, and they took care of the ball better, Dan, as Syracuse turned it over 19 times to Michigan's 7. And the Big Ten has already won 5. Chance for closing out the ACC-Big Ten Challenge on the first night.
Hey, let's go, ACC. Get the game.
Get after it, will
The
you please?
rivalry has become a rout.
Michigan 68, Syracuse 60. McCullough. Pushed by Levert. Out of the corner, Chapman. Clean catch. He might have launched the 3. Look at that ball move. 4 touch it. Number 3 missed it. That's a foul on Christmas. That will be his second, and he's the player who cannot get in foul trouble, but has too often in this first month.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought
In the ACC-Big Ten Challenge tonight. Were you there for that game, by the way?
I was not. I was at ESPN. I was doing
Studio work?
yeah, some studio work, yeah. I'll tell you this, that's, if you remember, that's when Mitch McGary really got going in the tournament. It's a double-double. He was ridiculous. And you mentioned Spike. 17 points in the first half. A couple nights later in the national championship game.
We were talking about that. My son and I were just talking about that maybe over Thanksgiving week, and went back on YouTube and watched. It's worth dialing up. Spike was in the greatest zone of anybody ever in the zone. It was just awesome to watch. The moves he was making, the shots he was hitting. Albrecht is one of the more experienced players on this still young Michigan team, Dan. They still have a lot of young players out here.
Not a senior out here. You know, his dad told me he got a concussion just before halftime. Spike did in the national championship game. That's why he didn't start the second half.
Jim Boeheim with the shot clock at 8, leaving Christmas out there with 2 fouls. Levert knocks it down, and Michigan has run 9 in a row.
All right, let me talk about that shot with Levert. That's on the top guy of the zone. Shot clock's running down. You've got Levert with the ball. You've got to match up as he is a man-to-man player. As you are a man-to-man player. Too soft, and Levert took advantage. One of the great things about Syracuse's zone, when you talk to Jim Boeheim, he's like, look, we scout. We know who can play, who can't play, who has better slides, doesn't have as good as slides. And when you get matched up, you got to play it as man-to-man.
Christmas short. It's off of Albrecht and stays down here.
Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Late clock, Mike. You've got to guard him. I mean, you've got to be tough on him. Joseph just went along, and Levert at 6'7", he's able to shoot over the shorter Joseph. You've got to square up and keep him in front just as you would in man-to-man. McCullough trying to post Irvin. Best coaches, in my opinion, in the game of basketball. Their teams are always ready. They have a certain style that they like to play. They don't deviate from it. The styles are different, but they don't deviate. They recruit to it, and their winning percentages show it, man. They're as good as it gets.
Ricky Doyle has checked in. One freshman has another one. Cameron Chapman finally gets the Wolverines on the board after they open 0-7.
Chapman can really play. Chapman understands how to play. He's been a little slow starting offensively, but you got to believe over the course of the season, a kid with that skill level and size going to be a big-time factor for Michigan. He can shoot it, he can pass it, he's got sense.
Tough release for the freshman point guard, Joseph. Wolverines in transition with Levert. Irvin a 3. Zach Irvin, who has made 20 of his 43 three-point shots this season.
Hey, we have to look at that. Zach Irvin ran the left side, and they are so well schooled. He came back to the middle, got himself spaced out. They couldn't find him, Mike, and got a wide open look. That's terrific, terrific transition offense by Michigan.
Trying to get McCullough, the freshman, free. Chris McCullough, good freshman, a little high-low with Rakeem Christmas. A nice job by Irvin to knock it away, 14 to shoot.
Hey, let's watch Zach Irvin. You're going to see him run the floor here. He's going to come down. Now, you see he's going to go to the right side. No, he started on the left. I'm sorry. I screwed this up. But then he came over to the middle. I thought we were going in transition. He moved in transition. He didn't stand where people could find him.
I thought you were fine, actually. I thought you were making a good point.
I was.
Why don't you stick with it?
I should have. Never admit your mistakes. What's wrong with me? But that was terrific either way.
Nobody at home knew what you were going to say, what you planned on saying. There's Christmas on the box. Good hands, the takeaway. Irvin, past Cooney. Wow. Great finish. Early early hits, trying not to get settled against that Syracuse zone. And those early looks have got Michigan on this 7-0 run.
That was fantastic. Irvin is so much stronger this year, Mike. He's gained 15 pounds since he's been in Michigan.
Cooney missed another one. Joseph got it back. The Christmas on the other side, posting against Doyle. The freshman point guard, Joseph, high off the window. Pitched out to Cooney, still on a shot clock. And Cooney on the drive. Can't finish, but he will draw the foul. Two free throws coming for Trevor. So this ACC-Big Ten challenge will continue. Iowa, North Carolina. Terrific doubleheader tomorrow night, followed by the feature piece of this matchup, Duke taking on Wisconsin. You'll see Jahlil Okafor, Kaminsky, Decker, the terrific Badgers, number 4 against number 2 as the ACC-Big Ten challenge continues on the family of networks tonight and tomorrow.
Mike, other than the Cedar Rapids Airport being your favorite airport in all of America, don't you agree?
Why do you start?
I don't mean
It's
to.
6 minutes into our season, you're starting. Go ahead.
Don't you think it's time, like as guys that cover the Big Ten, for Iowa to get legitimately good? Like legitimately. They lost 5 of their last 6 down the stretch, kind of fell apart. I mean, it's time for these guys, as veteran guys, to get, be in the race in the Big Ten late.
Well, they're missing Marble this year, so they'll have Roy Devin Marble, so they'll have to find a finisher guy, a guy to throw it to at the end of games.
But we've been talking about Aaron White, Gazelle. I mean, they've had guys. The big center, Woodbury. I mean, they've got guys that were recruited by everybody in the country.
Shot clock at 10. Pass for Albrecht broken up by Cooney, and Syracuse can't put a fork in it. Late clock, Irvin lifting, launching, clanging. McCullough on the board. Syracuse missed its last 6. Has Michigan's defense gotten better down there?
They have. You know what they've done? 2 things. Number 1, this has not happened for Syracuse. They haven't really gone on the block. And when you don't go on the block and you're Syracuse, the way they're shooting the ball, they're going to miss some shots. And the other thing is, really, the only thing they've gotten is 1 offensive rebound. They really haven't gotten to the board against Michigan.
Tyler Roberson missing that one. He's missed the last couple of games with an abdominal strain. Back in the lineup, the Albrecht miss, and out of bounds off of Irvin. It will belong to the Oranges. Syracuse has subbed in Michael Benajay, the junior guard. Was at Duke his first year, transferred, sent out.
Michigan will move the ball. They'll exploit the corners, and now with Ricky Doyle playing, they've got somebody in the middle. Going to be a great test for his zone, with Jim Boeheim's zone.
A couple of injury issues both ways. So let's check out starting lineups. Caleb Joseph, the freshman. Trevor Cooney trying to get his shot going. B.J. Johnson starts. Might see a little bit of Tyler Roberson tonight. McCullough and Christmas, their top scorer. Derek Walton is playing despite a toe injury. How many minutes? We don't know. Irvin and Levert, their best shooters. Chapman, the freshman. And Donnell is the center, the freshman. 2 Syracuse legends, perhaps the 2 best players Syracuse has ever had in basketball, both with Detroit ties. Derek Coleman and the former mayor of Syracuse and Jim Boeheim's backcourt mate, Dave Big. The Orange are in the orange. Michigan's in the maize and blue. We're underway on this Tuesday night in Ann Arbor. Johnson, pass for the freshman McCullough is a turnover, and it will belong to the Wolverines right away. This is a Syracuse team that's 5-1. Beat Kennesaw State by 47, Hampton by 18. I mentioned that loss to Cal by 14. They beat Iowa in the consolation game of the tournament in New York, and then followed that up with wins over Loyola and Holy Cross on Friday after Thanksgiving. Dan, it was interesting to watch how teams probe the 2-3 zone that Michigan's going to see more of as this year goes on.
Yeah, you're going to see a ton of different movements, and you're going to see a bunch of shots from the corner, not necessarily by Chapman, more like from Irvin.
Christmas has been the top scorer, pitched out to Caleb Joseph. Yes, Syracuse fans, they can hit a 3. The basket will count. It'll be a foul on the Orange after the release. Syracuse missed their first all 14 threes against Holy Cross.
Watch here. Watch Christmas just take the redshirt freshman Donnell, wrap him up, and throw him down. And Mike, to your point, Caleb Joseph with his first 3 of the year.
It was 0 of 3 coming in. Syracuse has had a horrific start shooting the threes, only 20%. One of their other issues has been foul trouble for their top player, Christmas, and he picked that one up early on. Chapman in the hot spot in the zone. The corner three from Irvin. Rebound by B.J. Johnson, but he got bumped by Donnell. It's out of bounds. Off Syracuse, Jim Boeheim goes to his bench right away. The Hall of Famer, 953 career wins. Second, as you know, to Mike Krzyzewski. And a great matchup because Jim Boeheim and John Beilein have known each other for about 4 decades, both with upstate New York roots. Little trap on the zone. Irvin to the basket. Chapman the rebound. Trevor Cooney has been in a shooting slump really dating back to the middle of last season in the conference play. Good save, and Christmas on the dunk, 5-0 arm.
You know what? Cooney just beat LeVert to the spot. LeVert kind of fell asleep on the weak side, and Cooney, he just out-hustled LeVert, got the ball, found the next guy. Like this is the third different set that Michigan has used against his own.
And the Wolverines get 0 for 5 from the start. Wolverine foul here now for John Beilein. John Beilein has been a head coach his entire career as a coach, never an assistant, 37 years. One of his first stops and a long stop was at Lemoyne College, just a few miles away from the Syracuse campus. It's in Syracuse, New York. And that's where he and Jim Boeheim really got to know each other, and great respect both ways for the two legends in coaching. Cooney way off on the three.
Beilein used to go to Boeheim's practices and watch and see how Coach Boeheim did it.
You're watching your coach's eyes, watching what Michigan's going to do this time down.
I don't like what Michigan's doing here. You know, they're matched up on the front, and now they're going to move Irvin, but nobody's on the baseline.
Donnell inside, couldn't finish. Kept alive by the Wolverines. The shot clock did not reset, and it's LeVert. Well, Michigan, an ice-cold shooting start here. They have opened 0 of 7 here tonight. This is what I'm talking about. The two coaches knowing each other for a long time. John Beilein was at Lemoyne 1984 to 1992. Terrific in Division II, and these gentlemen got a chance to get caught up here pregame.
Mike, these right there, those two guys are 2 of the 5.